Very good. In this lecture, you learn how to connect to a PostgreSQL database and how to create tables in a PostgreSQL database, insert data, view data, and delete and update rows as well. The script you're looking at now, though, is a script that you built in the previous lectures using a SQLite database. So if you haven't watched those lectures, I highly recommend you to go through them first, then you come here, because in this lecture I'll just go through this code and replace only a few lines of them. And that suggests that the code that you use for the SQLite 3 library is very similar to the code we will use for CyclePG2, which is a library you use to connect to PostgreSQL databases. The main difference is that your database will not be a DB file stored in your file system. It will be a database embedded in your PostgreSQL installation. And so the first requirement is that you need to have an existing database in your PostgreSQL database server. And PostgreSQL comes with a default database, so once you install PostgreSQL, you'll have a database called Postgres. So you can just pass the database here, or if you like, you can create your own database. So you just need to go to your PostgreSQL installation and you can create a database through pgadmin. So here are your database servers, and this is a default one. You need to connect to your database server first. And then this would be the password that you created when you installed Postgres. Postgres 123 was mine. Alright, so I was successfully connected and I have 3 databases. So this is the default database that I was talking about, and these are 2 other databases I have created. So to create a new database, just right click on the databases and then new database. Let's say database 1, and you need to specify the owner, so the user of your database. Postgres, this is what I specified when I installed PostgreSQL, and this should be enough. Alright, so now you have a database here. If you click to that, you will connect to it. Now you can just close this and go back to Python. Okay, let me first comment these lines out so that when I execute the script, I don't get this function instances called. So we have an empty database. So the first thing we would like to do is to create a table. But first of all, I would like to change this to CyclePG2. And of course, I would like to make a batch replacement of SQLite 3, replace it with CyclePG2. So I want all these library names here to be replaced with CyclePG2. So replace all and just press escape, and that goes away. Luckily this code is the same as SQLite 3 library. So we have connect, and then we have the cursor object, then we have the execute method, commit and close. All we have to do is change the parameters here. And here we would want to pass the database name, the username, the host, the password, and the port number of your database server. And all that comes inside quotes. So it is passed as a string to the connect method. First we have the database name, so the parameter dbName, and that will be equal to a value. So you need to insert the value inside single quotes. So that is database 1, the name of the database. Then you have user, and be aware that you don't need to use commas in here. So all this goes as a string and it is read as a string by the connect method. So user goes inside quotes, Postgres, then we have the password, Postgres 123, yeah. Then you have the host name, so the host parameter, and that should be localhost. Alright. So localhost should be your host name, and it's always like that. And last we have the port number, and that goes inside quotes as well, so 532. So those are the parameters you pass to your connect method of the CyclePG2 library. Then let's try to call that function. So create table is the function, and I'll save the script. So let me make sure you know what is happening here. So we connect to the database, and then we have the same methods for the CyclePG2 library. So we are creating a table, name store, and then we have 3 columns for that table. And we commit those changes, and then we close the connection. So save the script, Ctrl S, and then call the script. And that looks successful. If you like, you can just go to pg add mean, and here you can see the table that you have just created. So just enter the password, and you need to go to your database. So database 1, expand that, then you need to go to schemas, public tables, and this is our table name. So we have the store table, and you got 3 columns: item, quantity, and price. Alright, we have an empty table, so let's go ahead and insert some data to that table. I'll just copy this connection string and paste it in here. Then remember that we use question marks when inserting values for SQLite 3. If you want, you could use string formatting placeholders. So one for the item, the one for the quantity, and another one for the price. And then after the comma, let me delete this. After the quote, sorry, you would pass the percentage, so you already know string formatting, and then you specify the tuple of the variables you want to insert here. So item, quantity, and price. So you can use this, but this would be prone to SQL injections from attackers, so it's not a good idea. I can go ahead and execute this actually just to see what happens. So let's say Apple, and 10 and 15 for the price, and let me execute this. So it looks like it worked, and we can check it in the table here. So you can just go to your database, which is database 1, and here you can execute a simple SQL query. Select all from store, and go to run, and you see that Apple was added to the table. So it works, but it's risky to use Python string formatting. So what you want to do is, I'll leave it for a while there so that you compare things out, and to avoid SQL injections, you should actually pass your variables as a second parameter to the execute method. So what does that mean is, you don't have to use quotes, so you just pass %s, just like that, and then you put a comma here, so that means this string here inside double quotes is one argument, and then this one here is the other argument, and then you pass your variables. So that should work now. So I'm sure you can see the difference between this and this, and I'll just comment this out so that it isn't executed, and let's say orange, same price and quantity, execute, and let's go and check in pgmed mean. So let me execute the query again, and you see that orange was added as a new row to the table. So this is the way to go, and I'll delete this. Alright, now let's look at the view function. So what the view function is doing is it connects to the database, and it selects all the rows from the store table, and then we store those rows in the row variable using the fetchAll method, and then we return those rows as a function output. Everything you need to change here is the argument of the connect method. So just put them here, and you should be good to go. So let me view, call the function, and execute. And yeah, we need to print it. Forgot it. And yeah, so we got apple and we got 3 oranges now, because when I executed the script here, I got the insert function executed again, so we got 2 oranges, and another one when you use the string formatting placeholders. So you get the idea. Let's look at the delete function. Again, we need to pass arguments of psycopg2 connection. Then we have delete from store, where item, again we can't use question mark, so we need to use %s. And then as a second argument we pass the item variable. So it's the same as SQLite 3, but we use %s here. And let me call delete. I'll comment this out and delete here. So what you want to delete is the item. What item? Let's say we want to delete rows where the item is equal to orange. So let's see how this goes. And yeah, the item was deleted. The rows with the item orange were deleted, and we got the view function executed, so we got 1 row now. Our table has only 1 row. A quick look at the update method now. Just like that. And here we are updating the store table, and there we are setting, so we are updating the quantity to this value, and the price as well to this value, where the item is equal to this value. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3 values, and we pass 3 variables here after the comma. So as a second argument of the execute method, and the update method gets 3 arguments, so let me comment this out. And update, we have only 1 row, so I'd like to set the quantity of apples to, let's say 20, and the price, let's keep the price the same, and for the item apple, just like that, and execute. And we got the quantity changed to 20. So that was it. I believe that was quite simple, so if you learned SQLite 3 before, this was quite simple for you. And if you have any questions, just feel free to drop them in the discussion section. I'll be happy to answer. See you in the next lecture.